All right, let's do this. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining the session. Appreciate it. We've got hopefully a pretty good panel here, something worth talking about, and some people have got some pretty unique experiences. So, very quick introduction for myself. So my name's Pete. I'm the founder and CEO of a company called One Future Football. We are a virtual global football league. We've got 12 teams around the world. We've got influential ambassador owners, people like Patrice and Tyler Adams and Chris Smalling and Jesse Lingard, so a few of Patrice's ex-teammates as well, and a whole world of football happening in the virtual space. We'll talk about much more of that later. Antonio, quick intro.
I think we have some problems with the mic. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Okay, good.
We got you. Quick intro from you.
Yeah. So, hi everyone. I'm CEO and founder of Apex. We're a sports investment company backed by some of the most interesting and elite athletes in the world. And I'm just happy to be here and to speak a bit more about athletes investing, the future of AI in sports, and getting a panel with you guys and with Patrice is a true honor.
Brilliant. Patrice, people don't know who you are. Tell the story.
I'm a crazy man. That's why I'm a former footballer player. I used to play for Man United, Juventus, captain of the French national team. And when people ask me who I am, I'm just a human being and trying to make the world a better place.
I love it. So tell us about that journey, Patrice. So you retired a Premier League player, so didn't go down through the leagues, decided to retire right at the top, and you've kicked on through to do some pretty amazing things. But tell us about that journey from when you finished playing to where you are right now.
I think, I'm someone I really live the present. So I don't think about the past because I don't want to live with regret. I don't think about the future because I don't want to live with anxiety. So I didn't know what I was going to do because I was so focused on the football and, finish my career in the best way. Then I remember many people were saying, Patrice, wow, what you going to do when you retire? You don't have any fear. But no, I think, I believe in God, I believe in the universe, and everything happened for a reason. And I am a more happy man now than when I used to play. I feel like when you play football, you live in that bubble when you actually don't live in the real world. So now I've become an investor. I'm a defender of ending the violence against children. Is two time in the road I had a speech at the UN. And I invested also in, I'm working with One Future. So I'm someone, I just enjoy life. I'm passionate about life. I'm in a learning process, meeting a lot of people. But yes, if you ask me now, I'm more happy now than when I used to play, because when you play football, you're just like a robot. So you eat, you sleep, whatever you're doing is just about football. But now it's so many different things. At the beginning, yes, I was quite a little bit what I'm doing because I finished my coach license. Manchester United want me to go back in the staff, but I'm looking for something beyond that. I'm more in the human side, and that's why I decide to choose this road. Yes, sometimes I do like some punditry, but this is not what drives me. What drives me right now, especially the defender of ending the violence against children, that's when it gives me the purpose to be on this earth.
So maybe bridging from that, Antonio, so Patrice talks about his role as an investor, so maybe that's the most relevant thing for everyone in the room, is Patrice is using his platform for good, for positivity in that area, and finding ways that he can help businesses and obviously create commercial success off the back of it. But so when a company works for people like you or people like Patrice, what's the major benefit that they get out of having someone like Patrice, or maybe drop some names of people that you work with as well to let everyone else know about Apex? But what's the major benefit of having these athletes on their cap table?
Yeah, I mean, we started the business around athletes and, with athletes at the centerpiece, and it's exactly that. They have a massive platform that they can bring to any company they invest in, but then they understand the industry. We focus in sports because it's the industry that athletes understand. They have a super valuable network that they can integrate with anything they invest in. Their commercial value is specifically relevant in sports, maybe more than in a avocado business or something, right? So at the end of the day, that rationality, the commercial value in sports, and for users and fans to look at why an athlete is investing in a sports business makes sense. And athletes are part of the industry for many years. They have input and themes that they want to solve, problems that they want to solve, solutions that they want to bring to the table in an industry that they've been part of for so long. So that purpose as well fuels their involvement, and at the end of the day, that's what made us create Apex and how we invest and how we add value. Now, athletes that we work with, we want to make it very global. We want to, be diverse and make sure we're adding value to anything that comes our way in sports. So we work with Formula One drivers like Lando Norris, Carlos Sainz, football players like Rafael Varane, surfers like Kanoe Igarashi, golfers like Rory McIlroy. So we basically want to work with a like-minded community of athletes that wants to be actively involved in investing in the future of sport.
And he was talking about social media, and I've been in the social media by accident. It's not something I planned, but actually it's such a powerful platform, and you can reach billions of people, and that's why it's important you use it the right way. That's why any business we can expose it perfectly. And when sometimes I do a video and I see some comment when people say, Patrice, I just lost my dad, but watching one of your video make me smile. This is more important than winning the Champions League or the Premier League. So that's why I think, also thanks to the social media, I'm more famous now than even when I used to play, because people also feel connected. You see, when we come to this room, or many people was talking about my brand, I love this game. I love this game is nothing to do about any sport. Is about life. Sometime in life you win, you lose, but never give up. I always believe in my dream, and that's what I tell to the kids. I have an example when I was at school, and my French teacher was what you want to become, and all my friends, lawyers, architect, policeman, doctor, whatever, and I said I want to be a footballer player, and everyone was laughing, and she was like, footballer player is not a job. Then she was going even further. She was in 300 kids, they're going to pick one kid. Do you think you're going to be that one? And I say, yes, and everyone was laughing. But look now I don't want to take any revenge against that teacher. I just want to make sure she, little bit maybe, but I just want to make sure, she don't tell the same things to other kids, because I think kids have to dream. So that's whatever you want to achieve in life, believe in yourself and work hard for it. It's never going to be easy, because I know the new generation want everything fast, but it's a process, and it's a lot of sacrifice you have to make.
So does that process of thinking about achieving ambition, does that relate into what decisions you make about investments?
Yes.
How?
100%. I think, thanks God, I've got so many opportunities, but I'm really careful. My first thing is, are me and this business opportunity sharing the same value? That's the first things I'm looking at. And also, I like to work with people if they are passionate about what they're doing, because of course at the end is a business, but you have also to build that human relationship, that trust. And when you're doing all of that, that's when you make things happen. Don't think about money. Don't think about to be the biggest business in the world. Just start with that connection as a human being. Then after that, you can achieve everything.
And so, when we look at those specific, your role as an entrepreneur, your role as an investor, how do you think about the value that you can add to investments that you make? And so, use the example of 1FF. How do you think about coming into a company where someone's explaining what we're doing, and you're saying, I'm making a decision, and I think I can add value in this specific way? So
first, you listen when people talk. You listen, and I'm someone humble, and I'm in a learning process. So when something coming, I need to learn about it, how it works, what's the vision. And I think, the future of football is just amazing. It's a new way to engage fans. I think without fans, we will be nobody, because they are the one to put you up over there. And now to have the choice to pick a manager, pick a player, or whatever, I think One Future Football really ally and share the same value, like I said before. And that's why, for me, it was a no-brainer. And also, it's the new generation. We live our time. We are old school people. And this is the new generation. So you need to adapt. I got so many friends, they're like, no, I don't know what it is. I don't want to get involved. No. I think I speak a lot with kids. I'm asking them questions. And that's the problem in this world. We just talking us. I give you an example about ending the violence against children. Every time we are in this room, but we are only adults. And I'm building, like, I want more kids to talk about it because they're so aware about like this kind of issue. And that's why when I talk about business, I will say to the kids, okay, what's trendy now? What you doing? What you wearing this brand? What you like? What's your friend do it? So ask question and spend time with the new generation because unfortunately, soon I won't be in this earth, and I'm building a future for them, not for me. I've been a really successful man, thanks to my parents and thanks God. But now I just want to give to people. Like when people achieve something and I'm being part of it, this is what makes me happy. I'm someone I support, and like you said, thanks to my also powerful social media in all the platform, more than 30 million followers, and with that is really powerful. But you also have to be really careful.
Right. And just to add there, but it's it's great to see. I mean, for me as a founder of Apex, with our mission, seeing and hearing what Patrice is saying, but because it's exactly that, and I assume in his investment in One Future Football is he understood what you're trying to do and where you're trying to go in an industry that he understands. So he saw a potential there, and then second, he saw how he could add value, and those are the first two fundamental things to get an athlete intrigued and involved and motivated, because it's beyond how much they're going to make, because there's already a wealth management approach to what they do with their wealth, and they know there's every day people selling them, here you're going to do this, you're going to do that. Of course, at the end of the day, it's about preserving the wealth. But when they understand that you're picking their brains and they're understanding what you're trying to do, and they see a clear path in how they can help, that's how you get them involved on their investments. And we can see that here, present with Patrice and speaking about One Future Football. So, for us, as speaking as Apex, is really great to see, because this is what we want to see happening more and more with other athletes.
The pitch, you can go in more detail about One Future Football.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
You're not just the host.
Yeah, so I think that what you're saying about talking to young people is something that I try to do as well. So I think that maybe everyone think when you go to Christmas dinner in a few weeks, sit down with the 9 and 10-year-olds in the corner that are trying to do something, and don't just say like get off your iPads, but like learn from them, learn from what they're doing. And what we're trying to do is design a football league that's specifically about unlocking that audience, that younger fan that doesn't want to sit down. Like we're hearing everywhere, that younger generation won't sit down and watch an hour and a half of football in a block. And if they do sit down and it's there, they've got an iPad on their lap, they've got a phone, they're playing fantasy, they're playing computer games. And so for us, it's about designing a league which fills those gaps for them. So how do you fill the gap of creating something that they want to watch? And then even globally, like there's a stat that says, so 2 million people went to a Premier League football match last season, but 2 billion watched from somewhere else. And we know that for young people to be able to look up to athletes even more than clubs is so important. We were discussing at dinner last night. We're talking about the role of Cristiano Ronaldo, what he's doing in this market, how important it is. Like me back in Melbourne, Australia, where there's kids running around in the playground wearing Al Nassr shirts. Like, when would that have ever happened? And so we look at it and say, how do you create athletes that unlock audiences all around the world? There was another stat, there was a survey they did in the US that was state by state, 50 states, and this was just before Leo Messi moved to Major League Soccer. Who is your favorite footballer in the world? Favorite footballer out of everyone in the world? And 46 of the 50 states said Christian Pulisic. Now at the time, he was probably Chelsea's 16th best player, right? Wasn't getting a lot of game time there, wasn't doing a lot in that world, but it's because he's American. Because he represents that dream for them. So if you're a 9, 10, 11-year-old kid, you want to look up to American footballers the way that English kids want to look up to Marcus Rashford and the way that French kids want to look up to Mbappe. What about markets like India? What about markets like Southeast Asia? What about markets like China? Like what we can do with One Future Football is we design athletes and run these athletes around in the game. So we can design a player who's a top 10 player in the world who's from Iran. We can design a player who's a top 10 player in the world from India. And so you can create these heroes that allow fans to connect into it.
Go on.
Antonio, I want to jump back to a question about AI investment. So we talked a little bit before as well outside this discussion about the buzzwords and what you've seen over the recent years, but like, what are you seeing trend-wise about athletes making investments and VC making investments into this new world of AI that's just gained such prominence?
Yeah, I mean, if we were sitting here 2-3 years ago, that question would be around, Web3 and why Web3. I mean, of course, so meaning that it can be a dangerous word, and you need to be careful in how we look at this on an investment standpoint. Now, definitely there's a lot of great opportunities, and I think one thing that any sports property out there is they need to understand, the consumer, the future fans, right? So you need to gather data, you need to make sure that it's analyzed the correct way, and I think AI can do that. So we're looking at businesses that helps, create efficient processes in gathering data and then spit out information that is, correct and allows you to then, based on that, create a business and drive that growth and fuel the appetite of these future fans of sports, right? So I think on a trend that is an obvious one, and then I think a bit what One Future Football does, but it really is then how do we then use AI to, once we've analyzed the trend, to create the revenue streams, create the solutions that will attract effectively these younger generations into consuming sports the way that they want to consume. There's been a drastic change in how a sports fan was looking at sports, as you were saying, 15 years ago and now, and I think AI allows to test scalable solutions consistently by just instead of creating physical products which are more expensive and are harder to test and go back and forth. And I think AI really allows you to be efficient in testing these solutions, and once you've found a scalable solution, really effectively grow and create ways to monetize these fans and get them to engage better with sports and effectively just grow the industry as a whole.
Awesome. Why don't we move tack a little bit? So Patrice, we were talking as well about the roles that athletes can play away from the field. So like when the football stops, we've seen big examples of athletes that have done incredible things. We've seen examples of athletes that do terrible things away from the field. But when you look at like who you've worked under, so you worked under Sir Alex Ferguson, you worked under Didier Deschamps, you worked under Max Allegri. You've always had someone pushing you. You've always had someone pushing you in the right direction in that angle. Who was, in a footballing sense, who was the person who was firstly most able to get the best out of you on the field?
I always motivate myself by because I'm just motivated about life. So I come from a difficult background, so you have to survive. So I have that surviving instinct. But if you ask me, the manager understand me the most, I will say Didier Deschamps teach me winning is important, and Sir Alex Ferguson, winning is something normal. And that's why after you just become like, a winning machine. And my relationship with Sir Alex Ferguson, I never been scared of Sir Alex Ferguson, but I was always scared to disappoint him. But I learned a lot about all this manager, how to manage a team. And actually, it's all about discipline in life, whatever you're doing in business, in sport. If you discipline yourself, I think, and resilience, those are the really important, ability I built through the years, also thanks to those coach. But at the end, they let me be who I was. Like I remember when I signed for United, Ferguson say, be who you are, but just make sure you die for this fan, you bleed for this badge. And that's important, because at the end, that's why I say to people, don't act. Don't pretend to be someone you are not. Just be yourself, and you're not going to please everyone. But actually, this is your life, and you don't want to like live with regret and say, oh, I should have done that. No, do it. That's why, when I start my social media and my agent Luca is in this room, he said, what you doing? You're the captain of United, of the French national team. I say, but this is my personality, and I didn't have any plan, and look the way it worked now. So always, follow your instinct. You're gonna do some mistake. It's gonna not always like, what you do, you're gonna win. But just keep doing, what you feel is good for you. And I'm someone, I keep saying what's make you happy is making people happy. And sometimes you even have to be more selfish. Because I always say, if you are not happy or you're going to make other people happy. And this is like, I'm good to give advice, but I'm never good to taking them. So, but that's what I'm learning also. Like Patrice, also sometimes you have to be more selfish. Take care of yourself.
So you come out of a football environment where you're surrounded by like structure. Everything's about structure. We train at this time, we do this. Maybe they move it around, but it's structured. You're also surrounded by 30 other guys, a whole support team. When you come out of that environment, how do you make the decisions about who you want to surround yourself with?
I think Sir Alex Ferguson gave me a great advice. He said, you know, if you want to be a great leader, it's not about you. It's about you need like a great staff, you need a great like player or whatever, people working with you. You can trust them, because he didn't name me as a captain just because he said, because Patrice, you're not selfish and you take care about other people and you want to build other leader around yourself. And this is like when I call a true leader, it's not about you, it's about the people around yourself. But me, it was easy because, to be honest, I grew up in a big family. You know, I've got more than 24 brothers and sisters. Yeah, my dad never watched TV, or he was someone really busy. So, you know, sharing and living with a lot of people is something natural with me. And I always say, no matter which job you're doing, the star is the team. It's not about yourself. It's about the people you're working. So when I'm working with my people, I want them to succeed. I want them to be even bigger than who I am. I never trust anybody like, okay, he's working with for me. No, we work together. We are all the same. You know, when I was doing my coach license at United, and they show a clip where they show all the goals and whatever, and I didn't talk about football. I say, guys, you know, when the chef gives you some food, just thanks God, because some kids don't even have food, don't even have clothes, they didn't have even a roof. So you need to feel like blessed and grateful. And I want you, the same way you respect, you know, the manager and the owner of the club, I want you to respect the people cleaning the toilet, the people opening the door, because at the end we need everyone. You know, for example, in the hospital, we're talking about the doctor, but what about the people cleaning the building to make sure, you know, when you arrive at everything is clean? So those people, I'm giving more credit to those people, you know, working behind the scene.
And Antonio, when people come to you, so people exactly in the position that Patrice is in, where he's come out of an environment like that, or maybe he's still, you've got a lot of current athletes working with you right now. Clearly, they want cash returns. Clearly, they want deal flow. They want to be able to get on the right deals. They want to be back the next big mover, the Sorare, the Slack, the Zoom, the whatever else. They want to be on that. But what else do they want to get out of working with an Apex?
I think you know, Patrice mentioned this earlier, and it's, you know, it's really, we give an option for athletes to have a different purpose once they retire, right? I mean, traditionally speaking, you know, athletes, this because they dedicate so much time and effort into, you know, being the best of what in the world. That's something which is something so hard to do, you know, really limits the outside world to them. And as soon as they're looking at retirement, the natural reaction is, you know, I'm a football player, I'm only going to be taken seriously in football. So they look at being coaches, directors, agents, pundits. But some athletes don't want to do that, right? Some athletes want to explore and want to really be sort of respected outside of also the football industry. And we give them the option to do just that, you know, to become angel investors, to become entrepreneurs, to learn and to really become sort of independent in that sense, so that they can get involved with the right projects that they want and not necessarily just be involved in the industry. Because if you retire, even if your wealth is well managed and you can retire at 40 or whatever age, and someone can tell you, listen, financially you're okay, you can live until the end of your life, you know, that's not enough. They need purpose. Athletes come from a high-driven purpose life. You know, they are very important from a young age. They receive a lot of money from a young age. They're responsible for a lot of people from a young age, and that is something that you can't just take it off, right? And some of them want to be coaches and agents, and we give them the option to do other things and to get involved in things that are important for them. And I think that is for us, of course, something which is intrinsic to our mission as a business. Was really one of the reasons why we founded the business. It was honestly conversations I was having with athletes in the middle of COVID, while everyone was really thinking of the future and just assuming one day things will just go back to normal. athletes were taking it, a further step. They were saying, this might be in 5 years when I retire, and this is not enough. We want to do other things. We want to get involved, and we saw, investment and investing in sports was definitely a path for them.
Like I said, when a business come, if you straight away, One Future, I never ask you the number. I ask you what it's about, because that's what we're looking. We're looking for adrenaline. We're looking for something, you feel connected. And I say in life, if you drive about the money, you're gonna not achieve anything. And the money will come. Don't get me wrong. My philosophy is work hard, have fun. This is really important. Have fun, and make money. Don't never change that order, and after everything will come in place.
We've got 1 minute, so I just want to throw something. You mentioned it a couple of times. I've actually heard you say it to a couple other people about the strength of football in this region. And you were talking about seeing kids playing football in the street and why that gave you heart. Tell us about that.
Yeah, why I believe in the Saudi project. I think Dubai try first, and of course they bring some ex-players, and they came, and unfortunately they weren't playing the same level they were expected. Then after China tried to do the same, and I think the goal of the king was China to win the World Cup, because they are so good on everything, but he wanted them to win the World Cup, and he didn't see any improvement, so he stopped. Why I believe in the Saudi project is because kids play in the street. And now, of course, with all those video games, with all those social media, and you need to find the right balance. I don't see kids, playing anymore in the street. But you see it in Saudi. It's a massive population, and it's a young also population, because people doesn't know when they come, they think everyone are Grand Prince here or Sheikh or whatever. But no, it's not the case. And that's where you build your football. I built my football from the street. I'm the only a French player who did like Clairefontaine or did any academy. Is in the street where I built my character, my skill, and all of that. That's why I see a massive future. I remember when Cristiano Ronaldo told me he's coming here, and everyone was laughing what he's doing. But now look, everyone is following. So, and this is, I think, is just the beginning. Of course, is a lot of bad press or whatever, because some people are jealous. Some people are jealous, and me, I'm not jealous. When someone wants to do something, I support him. And you want to know, Middle East is taking control of the world. And you need to, instead of like criticize, just ask what can you do to help them, to achieve their dream. So that's why now, they nearly like get Mo Salah from Liverpool, but I think soon he will come also in Saudi. And it's a tough league. People think it's easy. Like, it's not easy to score a goal. Like Benzema said it last time, it's not an easy league. But now we need to create more awareness, and I hope like the Saudi league being watched more by fans. And now, when you have like the app, I always check, the score. Before Ronaldo signed for Al Nassr, I didn't know who was Al Nassr. But now you ask to any kid, whatever I travel in Europe, Paris or London, like you say early on in Australia, you see kids with the shirt. So no, I think instead of like hating each other, we need to support each other and push each other. But yeah, I think the Saudi League will not stop, and this is just the beginning. They got like the right people in place. They got the people who want to do something, because I remember some people were yes, look, they bought like a player, they are the end of their career. No, they are not in the end of the career. Now they even like bring young players. So I fully believe in this project.
Trace, thank you, and thank you so much for all your help with 1FF.com. Antonio, thank you, and thank you all for coming along.
Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you.